Hey, what's going on? We just finished week 8 of General Assembly's WDI program. It was a pretty awesome week, and this will actually be the shortest video as it was a group project and there won't be too much new material to cover. The instructors broke us up into groups of 4 this week so that we get good experience working in a group and merging with GitHub and all the little issues that entails before our actual group project week, which takes place next week for week 9. So we basically had one instructor who was our client, and he gave us wireframes and user stories to build out a group project, and we went from there. We were able to have them help us out every now and then throughout the week with any type of conflicts that we ran into. That was typically with Git and merge conflicts, because that's something that we haven't really touched on yet, so it's new to us. So that was probably the common problem. That and just getting used to working in an actual group and breaking up the tasks into fours, I guess. And we also did some pair programming, which is something that we've been working on, and this is the first time we've used it in a project setting. So a lot of good experience took place this week. We had a lot of time that was devoted to figuring out little problems and issues that we won't have to worry on or worry about for next week and project week, so that we could focus on building the best project possible, as that's pretty important for our meet and hire that takes place after the course. So my group broke up into 2 groups of 2. 2 people worked on the front end, 2 people worked on the back end. Myself and my partner in the group worked on front end, so we did all the design, we linked up with the back end with user login, sign up, and all that stuff. So we primarily use JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, and jQuery. We use Bootstrap as well. And then the back end actually used Google Maps as an API. And linking together was actually kind of difficult, and we didn't really have too much issue with the merge conflicts as some groups did. So one of the things that we definitely took away with the group project week for week 8 was that communication is really important. Sometimes we ran into an issue where someone pushed up to the master and then another person pulled down and worked on the project and pushed up, and then there was merge conflicts when it could have been avoided had we communicated a little better. Also, the separation of concerns between group members on what to work on is very important, so that's definitely a skill set that we learned throughout the week. Each day we had scrum meetings with our instructor, who served as our product manager as well as our client, which was kind of interesting. They could switch hats, but he helped us, or helped guide us as the client and what he was looking for, as well as the product manager on what we could accomplish and what we needed to work on if we had any questions or concerns. And last but not least, we took a field trip to Autodesk on Monday. It was awesome. Autodesk does a lot of 3D visual printing. They do a lot of awesome stuff. On Friday, we broke out into our groups for next week, and we dealt with actually coming up with the idea of an app and keeping it within scope. We do have some requirements too, which made it a little difficult on what we could hone in on our idea. We had about 8 ideas that were all front-end heavy, and our instructor wanted us to use more Ruby on Rails and more back-end. So we came up with an idea, and we went through the wireframes and user stories on Friday, and then on Sunday we all got together and worked out the user login, sign up, and log out to ensure that that was working, as well as getting kind of the main page of our app going so that we could have a head start for next week. We also all got together and looked over the Twilio API, which will adapt into our project, so we get a little comfortable with it. So when we implement it next week, we'll be fully ready to do just that. I'm about to include some of the pictures from the field trip. It was awesome. It was so cool. It was a wonderful experience. But on to week 9.